Moorlands Radio Sport, in association with Leek Building Society.
Brehaut, the Leek manager. I don't think any player left anything out there this afternoon.
No, we obviously said, didn't we, that we'd come and give it a right good go, and to take the lead in the game as well was the objective. We know that scoring first in these types of games is really important. I thought, coming in at half time, we were decent value for it in terms of the number of chances they'd created. They did hit the bar, obviously, with a great effort from distance. Dino'd made one save that he parried. They weren't all over us by any stretch of the imagination. We were comfortable enough within our defensive shape and still had enough of a threat. And even in the second half, they've obviously stayed attacks and had pressure and crossed balls into the box and had a few attempts on goal. They're going to, aren't they, at the end of the day? We've said we're one league apart, but in reality we're way further apart than that. You look at the surroundings and what this football club is. We're not there yet. So I think the most disappointing thing, we conceded a goal off a restart, off a dead ball. And one of my favourite sayings that I talked to the players a lot about, and I'm just reminded of there, is when the ball goes dead, we've got to come to life. You have to be alive, you have to be switched on, and in any level of football that can catch you out. And when you've given as much as what the players are given, they just switched off for a split second. Quick free kicks taken down the side of us, and that's really the only way that they got in behind us. Everything else was in front of us, or crosses coming in from deep. So and then clearly the nature of conceding so late on in the manner in which we did was devastating. It would have been amazing to obviously get them back to our place on Tuesday and have another go at it. Whether the players would have agreed with me based on how they're feeling right now, I'm not sure. But listen, it would have been nice, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But
you know what? I mean, we were saying in commentary that Ollie Harris and Liam Edwards, they're just titans. They are just absolute warriors, and to see Ollie not get enough on that back header, that shouldn't define his contribution to the game.
No, listen, he's headed up so many balls from the box. He did so on Tuesday. He has done in time I've been the manager. He's a colossus. So at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, he actually makes the right contact on that when he goes back to Dino. I'm not going to stand and criticise any one individual.
But typical Ollie, straight up, I'm going to lead the line and see if we can lift it on.
Well, he's matured a lot in the time. I've been the manager, and certainly over the summer. Obviously now he's always been a big figure within the group. Both in stature, but also in terms of his playing ability. But now he's one of the most mature and sort of one of the biggest leaders within the group. He has to be. He's made, I don't know how many appearances for Leek Town, but certainly well over 100, maybe even 2. I'm not sure, but he's a man mountain for us, and him and Liam, alongside the 2 fullbacks who were brilliant. And I'm very, very lucky to have 2 right backs that are as good as them pair. Curly slotted straight back in today, and obviously we're really pleased with the signing of Ollie Hayward. And then as a group, whichever 4 we pick, playing in front of Dino, there aren't going to be many better defensive lines in the Northern Premier League.
No,
there really aren't. So,
but again, I think we've got to point out that Kidderminster are a full-time club, and they train 5 days a week. You get yours together for a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, and then you go on a Saturday.
And we played Tuesday as well. They've had a free week at it, and I don't think you'd look at that from a fitness point of view and go, well, listen, we were dead on our feet. Of course we were, but they weren't like running past us like we weren't there. We were still able to compete physically, and what I demanded of the players was an incredible amount in terms of the physical work I sort of expected them to get through to ensure that they didn't have an easy game. So it stands us in good stead, and that's what I've just said to the players. We have to take, for what it's worth, the fact that we know we can compete. That's got to give us the belief that we can compete in the level that we're going to be playing in for the next 7 or 8 months. And yes, we've got an area to address with obviously finding some support at the top end of the pitch to add to the group that we've got. We know that. We've brought Dara in, who's brought some energy and done well in the 2 games he's come on so far. We know we need that focal point to obviously lead that line for us. Bryce is not going to be able to do that for every minute of every game, and we've obviously been using a makeshift player in Nathan there for in the short term. So, the reality is we know what we've got to do.
Well, you got Tim Grice on the bench today. What was the decision to start with a Comey based on a physical presence up there, an outlet to use his upper body strength to try and hold the ball up?
Yeah, well, it was based on the fact that against Matlock, he came on and the game changed. I'm not going to say he changed the game, but he certainly had an impact in the game. The same thing happened when we played against Worksop last Saturday at home, when he came onto the pitch with Woolley 10 minutes in the second half. We got some impetus in the game, and then on Tuesday night he started the game, and it was a really strong performance as we've discussed. He's earned the right to play on that basis. We wanted a forward that was defensive minded in as sort of risk averse as that may sound, in that we needed to stop their main player, which is the 8. And so that was why the decision was taken. But also, listen, we know what Grice has to offer, but Grice also knows where he's at, and that ultimately what he has to offer this team is going to be in spits and starts, where it's going to be in small bursts. He's played a lot of minutes in the weeks leading up to today, more than obviously we might have anticipated, and we've got to make sure we manage him right, because we know that if a chance falls in and around the box, that he's the man that we would want on the end of it.
But you see, you've got 11 players out there that gave absolutely everything, and and played some good quality football. I mean, Alex Hurst, his pace is just unbelievable for the level that he's at.
I'm so happy he got the goal. You'll have to ask him whether or not it was intentional, but
we're going to leave that up to him.
Okay, I'm with Alex Hurst now, the goal scorer. Alex, talk us through the goal.
Kind of got it on the left wing, cut inside and kept driving across. Probably should have had a shot earlier, to be honest, and then just kept going. Saw Ollie was free, played it into him, little 1-2, and then saw the keeper off his line and hung one up. Maybe someone would get on the end of it, but it's just gone in back post, yeah. And then I thought I'd run over to the away fans.
I loved your celebration, but everybody's asking, did you mean it?
I did, yeah.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, the point stands that, read the Sentinel tomorrow and it's got Alex Hurst's name on the goal sheet again, and that's important. So he's notched 2 goals now for us, and hopefully he'll break that duck in the league in the coming games, because he's added a huge amount to the team in terms of his energy, as you say, but his quality as well. When the ball comes in, he's pretty reliable with it, and he causes defensive problems. You wouldn't fancy playing against him, even if he doesn't always get the cross in or the end product. He's going to come again and again and again, and as a fullback playing against him, or centre half as it's been in recent weeks, that's pretty relentless and pretty frustrating as a defender, knowing that someone's not going to go away.
We're wrong to focus on individuals, but again, somebody like Joe Woolley played on the left hand side. He didn't look out of place, and he had the mindset that, look, I'm going to cause you problems.
Yeah, Woolley's very adaptable in the sense that he can do probably 2 or 3 different roles for the team, and for someone who isn't blessed with loads of speed, he's very clever in how he's still able to make up ground and get away from people, and he's got a good brain. He has game craft, and that was, I've worked with Joe in the past, and that was what we've known of him, obviously being at all the clubs that he's been at, and when we brought him in, we knew that was what he'd provide. It's probably taken him a little bit longer than what we'd hoped, probably him as well, to kind of get that run of games. This was, I think, the first time actually he's played in consecutive games from the start. But again, he's putting a massive effort for the team. He is capable of scoring a goal, and he'll be disappointed that he's only notched the 1 so far, because he's had a couple of opportunities in other games where he could quite easily be on 3 or 4 goals. But he's got that goal scoring ability, and that's genuinely important for us as the season goes on. And
then things to take out the game, we saw Tom Scully come onto the field of play, and after the months that he's had trying to recuperate from what was a really serious injury, I mean, that's give everybody a lift, hasn't it? I mean, everybody's got a fair amount of affection for the lad.
Yeah, to be honest, it's probably a little bit sooner than I would have anticipated in terms of being back with us. He's only played a single half hour with the development squad a week yesterday, and he needs to continue to build his game time up, and we've got to be sensible with him. So I'd say to the Leek fans, don't expect him to be in the starting team anytime soon. He's worked incredibly hard. He's been incredibly positive in terms of his own sort of rehabilitation, but also around the group. He's a huge personality. He's so well respected amongst the group. He's going to be a massive addition to us coming back in for sure. So yeah, gutted for Billy today, because obviously we named him in the squad, but in reality thought it was sensible to not risk him. think he would have gone out and played for us should we needed him, but I think it was the sensible and right thing to do to ensure that we've got Billy, who's a huge part of the group of the team, for hopefully now next Saturday. Finally, you've started your managerial journey. Josh, their manager's been on a fair old journey, well-respected figure within the game, done absolutely loads. What was it like for you personally to pitch up against somebody like that? And they've been incredibly complimentary about you and your team, the football club and some of the fans already on social media. So, you ever managed to have a chat with Phil Brehaut? I had a chat with Phil before the game, yeah, and fair play to him. He gave me 5 minutes of his time and had a good chat. He was really, really warming and happy to chat. So, I'm really grateful for the opportunity that the draw provided us to come here today, and obviously mix with the likes of Phil and obviously other managers that we've been lucky enough to come up against in recent, in the last 12 months with sort of the games that we've had, and just learn from them. It's a great opportunity to like you say, showcase us as a football club, and we're on an upward trajectory that I hope we can continue. And we've got to, like I say, when the dust settles, reflect on what's been an amazing day aside from the final few minutes, and try and use that now to propel our league form and move up that table.
And that's the thing, isn't it, finally, to finish up on, you might not have got the victory, but what you have done is showcase the football club, and there's a fair few people in this area who know Leek Town are now.
Yeah, exactly that. I think, what was it, the last time the clubs played was back in the 90s, we've obviously not been in the same league for a long time. This is a huge football club, but it also shows that Leek Town have the ability to get back there one day. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's what we're working towards.
Brilliant performance. Thanks very much, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Well done. And that is
Cheers, Josh.
Josh Brehaut.